it was rather successful. We reduced from 250 to 50. In this moment, several months after that, a 3-year girl asked her mother a strange gift for her birthday. 3 years girl says, "I want to know the mayor," as the gift. And both went to the mayor house, asked. Of course, the answer was yes, of course. And we met. The mother explained that she was living alone with the girl. They were living alone, the two. Very poor conditions, estrato 2. And she told me that the girl had seen me sometimes on television speaking about wounded children by fireworks. And we had some drink and they went out, and in the moment they were going out, the mother said, "Sorry, one moment, I forgot to tell you something, Mr. Mayor. Each time I'm going to beat my child, she takes the telephone. She doesn't know even to dial it, but she says that she calls you." Obviously, that was like an order. Immediately, I set a meeting with psychiatrists and psychologists, and we calculated that in Bogotá there were 600,000 children, to some extent abused by punishment or by physical injury. And we had no traditional means to tackle with it. So we invented the vaccine against familiar violence. It was a too harsh process. People that came from the street entered one by one to the process. The psychiatrist or psychologist asked, "What was the person that aggressed you the most in your life?" And some people said, "My father," or "my aunt." In my case, it was an art critic. Not because he made a critic of my work. It was someone who one Sunday, when I was 6 years old, took me to his gallery, to his empty gallery, and he said, "I will teach you wrestling positions." And he didn't put out my clothes, but he was playing with me in a way that I could not have language to describe. I didn't understand it. I never had told this, and in face of the vaccination process and with cameras, I was saying, "Hey guy, if you like men, look for men of your age. Please, with the children, no. With the children, no." Even in this moment, I feel emotion remembering, because I never had told this story to nobody. Journalists wanted the name of the art critic. I said, "He's passed away, I cannot give you his name." But this was a powerful tool, but perhaps too dangerous. 45,000 people on 2 Sundays of May 1996 passed through this vaccination process. Obviously, not all the cases were so dramatic, but in one of the cases, one of the people that passed through the vaccination was shouting, "That's why I killed you." In other words, confessing homicide. And the psychiatrists and the psychologists were very strongly depressed and tired at the end of the journey after seeing these horrible moments of violence. Even in telephone, we had 200 calls of people saying to the machine, "If I will meet the aggressor, I will say to him these words," and record. Okay, so Rosemary Thorpe's adopt explicit priorities of change but seek snowball effects. Put in play next ball as soon as you can. Attack defeatism with examples and indicators. Give information about behavioral change. Use positive indicators. Use lateral analysis with practical applications, for example, epidemiology. Look at the same thing from different perspectives. attack multiple phases of the same problem, use of visual shock, mooning, stars on ground, simple tasks for people like whistle, and trustable reputation. That was useful also. I have a strange relationship with art. I am son of a sculptress. This is one of my mother's works. The other was at the beginning. The dialogue with Doris Sommer from Harvard was centered on the idea of cultural agency. She comes for cultural studies and has the idea that humanities and art teaching in high schools is not good. It's very critical and very low in hopes. So we worked together on some texts about aesthetical effects. Shklovsky, the Russian formalist, had a very beautiful idea that art has to refresh, to make unfamiliar the familiar. That art has to create public judgment, not only judgment, but a judgment that has a universality vocation, but has not the strength of academical scientific judgment. So I risk myself saying this art work is beautiful. It's also linked to disinterested pleasure. Art announces possible harmonies, offers role models, and makes conscious about the arbitrary of social constructions. Tolstoy, in Peace and War, has a very beautiful example of this. What a strange institution is propriety, says a horse. Tolstoy makes a horse to speak. I know very well my owner, and he speaks to me by my name, and if I get sick, he takes care of me. But I know other horses whose proprietor does not do these things. So in 5 lines, the propriety relationship is gone. It's changing. And motivation and inspiration for other practices. Very different practices linked together in the form were sometimes introduced. I use a lot Moebius strip. Perhaps humanity lives on a Moebius strip. Locally, the Moebius strip has 2 faces. It's very clear that to be here is not the same as to be on the other side, on the local other side. Or to be in this border is not the same as being in this border. But if you get in a very strong conflict, you walk together in this direction or in this direction, and always you have the same experience as if you were in a common belt. But if one of the parts goes in this way and the other walks in this way, they meet on the same side. This strip has only one side and only one border. It's like discovering that the earth is spheric. This is the end. Life is sacred. It's an empty cemetery. These tombs are empty. And the life protection is the main thing. So forget about harmonization of law, morals, and culture. It's gone. The very, very important thing is human lives have not to have risks in differentiation, discussion, and so on. Human life is sacred. Thank you very much.